Security culture starts at the top. Steve Grunert and Todd Whitaker, education leadership researchers and authors of School Culture Rewired, are quoted as saying the culture of any organization is shaped by the worst behavior the leader is willing to tolerate. You can have the best security tools, the most comprehensive policies, and the most talented security team. But if leadership treats security as someone else's problem, none of it matters. But think about what that means for security. If leadership tolerates password sharing, if they skip security training, if they approve projects without security review, those behaviors become the de facto standard. In this lesson, we're going to explore how leadership behavior directly shapes security outcomes and what you can do about it. We'll start with why so many security programs struggle despite significant investment. The root cause is often what's called the delegation trap. Leadership treats security as a purely technical concern and delegates it entirely to IT. They write the checks, hire the team, and assume the problem is handled. But security isn't just a technical function. It's a business function touching every department, every process, and every employee. That means that when leadership disengages, they send a clear message: security is not important enough for my attention. That message cascades throughout the organization. Middle managers deprioritize security requirements because they see leadership doing the same. Employees treat security policies as bureaucratic obstacles rather than business necessities. The security team becomes isolated, fighting battles without executive air cover. However, your security posture is a direct reflection of leadership engagement. Organizations with visible, committed leadership consistently outperform those where security is delegated and forgotten. Not because they spend more money, but because the culture supports security rather than undermining it. And everyday leadership sends signals about what matters. And employees are constantly watching and interpreting those signals. Let's examine the three most powerful signals. First, visible engagement. When the CEO asks about security metrics in quarterly reviews, when executives attend security awareness sessions, and when leadership publicly acknowledges security team contributions, those actions communicate security as a priority. Conversely, when leaders skip security briefings or delegate them to subordinates, employees notice. And think about it, employees pay attention to leadership because employees would like to grow in their career. So they're paying close attention to what leadership cares about. The second signal, resource allocation. Budgets do reveal true priorities. If security requests are constantly denied or delayed while other initiatives sail through, that's a clear message. And that doesn't mean you need to approve every security request. What it means is giving security investment the same rigorous consideration as other strategic priorities. And the third signal is, of course, day-to-day behavior. And that's the most powerful signal of all. When the CFO refuses to click a suspicious link and reports it to the security team, that behavior ripples through finance. When the CEO insists on multi-factor authentication, even when it's inconvenient, that sets a standard. But when leaders demand exceptions to security policies because they're too busy or too important, that permission structure spreads as well. Remember Grunert and Whitaker's insight: the worst behavior you tolerate becomes your culture's ceiling. If you tolerate leadership security exceptions, you're establishing that exceptions are acceptable. So then we talk about what specific leadership actions strengthen security culture. There's the clear expectations being set. Security responsibilities should be explicit in job descriptions, performance reviews, and organizational communications. When security is everyone's job in theory, but no one's job in practice, it becomes no one's priority. And of course, you have to model secure behavior. Leaders have to demonstrate the behavior they expect from others. Not do as I say, not as I do. Use strong passwords, report suspicious emails, and follow the policies. It's not about being perfect, it's about being visibly committed. And they need to ask the right questions. In every major initiative, leadership should ask, what are the security implications? Has the security team reviewed this, and what risks are we accepting? These questions signal that security is a consideration in business decisions, not an afterthought. And make security visible in strategic planning. It shouldn't appear only when something goes wrong. Include security metrics in regular business reviews and celebrate security wins. Make the security leader a regular participant in strategic discussions. And finally, hold people accountable without creating fear. Accountability means consequences for negligent behavior, but it also means creating an environment where people report mistakes without fear of punishment. If employees hide security incidents because they're afraid, then you've lost visibility into your actual risk. There are warning signs that can help you recognize when leadership disengagement is weakening the security posture of your organization. A warning sign is that security is never on the executive agenda unless there's been an incident. The security team reports to IT rather than having a direct line to senior leadership. Security budget requests are routinely deferred to next year, and leaders regularly request exceptions to security policies. And security concerns are dismissed as IT being difficult. Employee security awareness is treated as a checkbox exercise rather than a cultural initiative. So those are all warning signs. And if you're seeing these patterns, you have a leadership engagement problem that no amount of technical investment is going to solve. The downloadable resource for this lesson is the Leadership Security Commitment Guide, and it includes a self-assessment tool to evaluate your organization's leadership engagement, along with specific conversation starters for addressing gaps. We want to understand that leadership doesn't just support security culture, it actually creates it. Download that Leadership Security Commitment Guide and use the self-assessment to identify where your organization's leadership engagement could be stronger.